Eagles at Rams.
I don't get the line. Philadelphia's got a much better roster. I'm going to take the Eagles -2.5. It's my one favorite pick this week, coming off extra rest. By the way, they are 6-0 since their Week 5 bye. In that time, Jalen Hurts leads the NFL with 17 total touchdowns. Saquon Barkley in that time leads the NFL in rushing. A.J. Brown ranked second in receiving yards. This team, since the bye, is dominant. They are pushing people around. The Rams continue. It's been a year-long issue. It's why they're going to draft an offensive tackle or 3 in the draft. The Rams are beat up at both tackle spots. We saw last week against New England, they didn't get a lot of push. They can be hot and cold offensively. I like their defense in L.A., but it's young. It's a year away from being great. I'm taking the better roster, the hotter team with more star power. I like Philadelphia 28-21. I'm going to lay the 2.5 points. It's my blazing 5. J-Mac.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you saw at the very beginning, it said that he picks the Rams, and then obviously we see that he picks the Eagles. So, yeah, this has the potential to be a sneaky, really good game, honestly. I think Vic Fangio and this defense has been obviously rolling, and we're seeing most of these things, through some of that combination between, offense and defensive stats. But so I think going up against Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, I think this is actually going to be such a great and crucial experience for this young Eagles defensive team, right? This young defensive core, or a core in the making, maybe I should say, for what they're doing. Because I actually think the Rams are a really good team, well coached, and yeah, they're definitely lacking the roster inconsistency and had some issues with injuries, of course, but you're still going to get a great game plan and great execution, and you're going up against a great coach, a great quarterback, and great wide receivers. And I think that's so important. You got a little bit of that going up for the Eagles, going up against Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but I don't think T. Higgins was there. And, the Bengals coach is nowhere near on the level, right, Taylor, of Sean McVay. So I think this game, not only should the Eagles win this game, but I think it's actually so important just for the continued development of this team and these defensive players, more so than the offense, right? The offense should be what it is. The offense should be very clear, and it's very obvious how they should run. Although I think there might be a question mark whether or not, Devontae plays or not. I don't know if there's been any updates like that. I always try to stay away from any injury predictions because when this video posts, I have no idea what was just announced. So, even without Devontae, as long as you still got A.J. Brown, Saquon, Dallas Goedert, right, like that wouldn't be enough of an excuse for them to be like, oh, the offense was lacking. Well, they didn't have Devontae. Like, you could say that if you're missing AJ, if you're missing Saquon, but anything outside of that is no dice. This team should be too good, and their identity is too clearly defined right now for them to just be confused in that situation. Quite frankly, that's why I'm actually looking at this more from like, what can I learn defensively from this team? Because I do firmly believe that someone like Stafford, McVay, Puka Nacua, and Cooper Kupp at any point can absolutely dominate and be elite and really remind everyone, yo, this is who we are. So I think we always talk about so heavily about quarterbacks developing, rookie quarterbacks, these young players developing, and week to week to week. And we lose sight of defensive players learning and growing and evolving and getting better and better and better. And we know that Fangio, he coaches his players really, really hard and really, really expects a lot out of them and maximizes their talent. We've seen that. There's a reason why Vic Fangio is such a great established defensive coach. So you're actually going to see progress. You're also going to see scheme and see these defensive players be put in positions to succeed, but you're also going to see them evolve and get better and better and better. And, my quick memory, I think about, I don't know if this team has really faced an offense of this style combined with this level. And it's not to say that I think that the Rams have this like high-powered, elite, unstoppable offense, so it's going to be great, for the Eagles to kind of play against that. It's just, it's going to be smart. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be assertive. You're not really going to be able to take advantage of bad receivers, bad quarterback, bad coaching. You can do that with many other teams around the NFL. you're not going to be able to do that with the Rams. So if they can get to him, make them uncomfortable, shut them down. The Eagles have been so good at shutting down big wide receivers. I want to see them be able to continue to do that. Again, it's a lot harder to do it when you have someone like Stafford throwing the ball along with Sean McVay as well. So that's why I think this game is going to be so interesting for me to kind of really look at and evaluate from a more deeper level. This is where we see, from my viewpoint, how competent are the Eagles. I think the Eagles are a top team in the NFL. And even Colin himself, for whatever reason, I mean, I shouldn't say for whatever reason, I know why, but he still has a lot of doubt. He thinks they can't win a Super Bowl. He's got them ranked 4th. He has the other 3 teams ahead of them, the Lions, the Chiefs, and the Bills. Those are the 3 teams that he thinks can win a Super Bowl. He thinks the Eagles can't, mainly because of coaching. And I'm not here to unpack that whole thing. But I think because of the way how this season unfolded with injuries and just the way how, I guess some coaching interactions unfolded, people don't see this team as being competent. They see this roster being stacked. They see them being able to play really well, but I don't think they see this deep level of core competency. And so this is where I'm really excited to see, because if the Eagles are able to really shut down a game like this and really continue that momentum and continue very confident, clear wins that establish them as clearly the better team and put them away, and not have one of those weird situations where it's like you almost let the Jags get back or whatever it may be. It was kind of close until the very end with the Commanders, and you win a game like this convincingly, and it's not one of those games where Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua go off, and it's like, oh my God, Matthew Stafford threw for 380 yards and 4 touchdowns, and the Eagles could not stop them, and they lost 35-20, right? Like, I think if you put yourself back in time to last year, it would not be hard to see that a game like that unfold. I know, granted, they beat the Rams last year, but just, it wouldn't be hard because we saw other teams do that less than them. And that was kind of an indicator of like, okay, this team's not that well coached. They're not well prepared week to week to week. How do you rectify this? This to me continues to solidify and build that case. This is not 2023. This is, we have graduated from that, which I've already said that I think they have. But you still have the ghosts of past, unfortunately, and it would just be interesting to see how they bring this home, quite frankly, because it's like the Eagles do have to continue to win. The number 1 seed is right there for their taking. Getting a loss here would obviously really hurt them, because it's hard to imagine that the Washington Commanders won't lose and, quite frankly, dominate. I think they're favored by like 10 points, 10.5 or whatever it is against the Dallas Cowboys. So these are the wins that you got to continue to get. The Eagles have a couple tough games ahead of them, but this is where these types of games, and again, I know the Rams aren't this top team in the NFL, but these are the type of games that you really start to kind of solidify more, because to me, it's a lot easier to take advantage of weaker, younger teams, even if they're not as good or if they're actually a little bit better. But it will always forever be difficult to attack a team that is incredibly well coached with a great quarterback and great weapons, right? You will, most often than not, those teams find a way to make games difficult. And so that's why I'm kind of really curious to see how this game unfolds more than anything. And so, yeah, we're about to find out. Sunday night primetime, let's go. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles, how they've been dominating since week 6, and what the expectations are for this game, and if there's any takeaways or things that you could learn, win or lose? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.